Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Hensel. I'm here with State Representative Matt Smith, one of the more aggressive, energetic members of the Pennsylvania legislature. And I know you have an interesting proposal we want to update everyone on green buildings.
Yeah, as you know, one of the things I've worked on since I was elected is sort of the confluence of pro-environmental policies, but also pro-economic development policies. And I think you and we as legislators can advocate for policies that fit both of those goals. And one of those areas that I've really focused on is green buildings and promoting in the Commonwealth green building both through tax credits, through grant programs, and the one piece of legislation I have right now is House Bill 444, and this bill would require any project receiving state funds or any state agency or state government entity that's undergoing a new construction project or a renovation, like a retrofit of an existing structure, that particular building be built in an environmentally friendly way, in a sustainable way. And right now we have it as LEED certification, and I think it's an area that we can promote, as I said, both pro-environmental policies, but also save taxpayers money in the long run.
Well, can you, in simple terms, explain the difference between just maybe a regular building and what would be a green building?
Sure. Green buildings, and one of the things I should state from the get-go is green buildings right now are a tremendous energy consumer and a tremendous producer of CO2 emissions. And just to give you an example, 40% of energy use right now is through buildings. 72% of our electricity is produced by buildings. 38% of our carbon emissions are produced by buildings. So all of these things led to the belief that you can build a building in a more high-performance way, in a sustainable way. And to give you an example, one way that green buildings differ from sort of your garden variety buildings is the use of daylighting. Green buildings use a lot of window technology to bring in heat when it's cold outside, so that will capture the sun when it comes into the particular building. Or in the summertime, when the building is hot, it will let the heat out a little bit more. So you're using in the summer less power for air conditioning, and in the winter you're using less traditional power to heat the building. You're using the sun's power to provide that heat in the winter. So it's a way that we can put forward policies, I think, that save the taxpayers money. And for example, there's about a 35% lower energy cost for green buildings as compared to traditional buildings. So for instance, if you're using public taxpayer dollars, which my bill would apply to, and you're spending $5 million on a building, that $5 million will be much better spent on a green building than it will on a traditional building, because over the life of that building, you're saving a tremendous amount of energy costs. And I've heard studies that once that building is 3 to 5 years old, you're capturing all that money over the course of the life of that building. And the one thing about green buildings that's interesting is they last a lot longer than your traditional buildings because of the construction technology that's employed in green buildings. So you're getting buildings that last longer but also consume less energy over the life of that building. And for instance, when you're talking about a school, for example, instead of spending that money on utility costs, we can spend that money on teachers or new facilities or books, technology in the classroom, things that will improve that particular student's experience rather than spending it on utilities.
Well, I would imagine if the government is able to do this and prove definitively that it works, that would encourage a lot of private businesses who are, of course, always interested in helping their costs to get involved as well.
Yeah, and on the private side, in Western Pennsylvania, there are a few leaders. PNC Bank has built a tremendous number of green facilities. And, again, on the private side, they view it not just the environmental benefit, which is tremendous. They view it as a cost benefit to them as well, because they have lower sick days taken by workers in their green facilities. They have higher worker productivity. And again, their bottom line is green, if you will, because they're saving money on utility costs. So that's what I've really enjoyed getting across to the constituents in my district, that not only is it a good environmental policy, it's a great economic policy because you're saving money in the long term by lower having lower energy costs for those particular buildings.
And lastly, just remind everyone, where is the bill in the legislative process?
It passed the House overwhelmingly a couple months ago. It has tremendous bipartisan support. It's in the state Senate right now. It's in the Environmental Resources and Energy Committee in the state Senate. So I'm hopeful it'll come out of there, and the governor will sign it very soon.
Certainly an interesting idea. We want to say thank you for joining us. And if you have any more questions, you can always visit the representative website at www.pahouse.com/msmith. Thank you for watching.